Hey, thanks for supporting our program. Special rant here about the Sackler family and OxyContin. Barry Meyer wrote this piece for the New York Times a short while ago. And what he's pointing out in this article is that this family-owned business, the Sackler family owns Purdue Pharma, a company that was started in 1953 by three Sackler brothers. They're all dead now. And Richard Sackler, who was the CEO of the company from the late 90s to the early 2000s, and oversaw a large part of the rollout of OxyContin, was just, aggressively promoting this, and was apparently, according to this article, trying to cover up, knew of the potential for abuse and was trying to cover it up. Barry Meyer writes, when evidence of growing abuse of the drug became clear in the early 2000s, Richard Sackler advised pushing blame onto people who had become addicted. Right? It's not our fault that we're selling an addictive drug. It's the addict's fault. I mean, this is the same argument that R.J. Reynolds and other tobacco companies have made for years and years. Sackler wrote it in an email in 2001. We have to hammer on abusers in every possible way. They are the culprits and the problem. They are the reckless criminals. Not me. I'm just a billionaire who's making money selling drugs. I'm not a criminal. The article in the New York Times notes the aggressive promotion of the drug helped ignite the opioid epidemic, which has killed 200,000 Americans now. Since this was rolled out, 200,000 Americans have died from overdoses involving prescription opioids since 1996. Sackler, quote, advised doctors to prescribe the highest dosage of the powerful opioid painkiller because it was the most profitable. In 2007, the feds came in and they said, we know what you're doing and this is wrong. People are dying because of this. You've got to stop. And the company paid a $634 million fine for practices that were leading to the death of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Americans, directly and indirectly. And then the Massachusetts Attorney General, Maura Healey, has sued 8 members of the Sackler family, and presumably including Richard. And the court filing released this just last week asserts that the Sackler family members were aware that Purdue Pharma repeatedly failed to alert authorities to scores of reports that the company had received that OxyContin was being abused and sold on the street. The company also used pharmacy discount cards to increase OxyContin's sales. And Richard Sackler, who served as Purdue Pharma's president, quoting from the New York Times article from 1999 to 2003, led a company strategy of blaming abuse of the drug on the addicts. Mr. Sackler boasted, this is right after the drug was launched in 1996, quote, the launch of OxyContin tablets will be followed by a blizzard of prescriptions that will bury the competition. The prescription blizzard will be so deep, so dense, so white. Then the sales reps for the company, they told doctors this has an abuse potential of less than 1%, which had no scientific basis. They just pulled this out of their backside. Within a few years, they were selling more than $1 billion a year worth of OxyContin. And Sackler, he was like, yeah, so what? A federal prosecutor in 2001 pointed out that just in the state that federal prosecutor is from, 59 people had died from overdoses of this product. And Sackler wrote, that's not too bad. It could have been far worse. 59 dead people? So the question, what do we do with a company and the individuals who own that company and run that company that has been directly or indirectly responsible for the deaths of over 100,000 Americans? What do we do? And should we apply it to the tobacco companies too? And how about some of the pharmaceutical companies that are jacking the price of insulin up to the point where now you've got diabetics all around the country dying because they can't afford their insulin? We've got a serious problem with an out-of-control pharmaceutical industry in the United States, and we need and product liability in general. We need to do something about it. Thanks again for supporting our program.